What's up, guys? Heidi back again. Just got home from the road the day before yesterday. Ran some errands yesterday and did some work on the van. So I'm going to change up how I'm doing these videos. I think before each video, I'm just going to do a 360 on the exterior, just so you can see what it looks like now. You can see the change in progress over time. Oh, I forgot about the license plate. All right, hang on. I need to get like something to put over that. I mean, I don't understand why you have to cover the license, those kinds of things, but yeah. All right, so. All right. So you can see I've got the roof hatch popped open, getting some nice air in here. It's in the 60s today. This is what it looks like. Get back over here. All right. Love it. All right, so I have a couple of days off work. I can devote all my time to this. So what I'm working on is, getting some faces on these cabinets that I built. So I went out to Lowe's and bought a bunch of wood. Hello. Oh, hello. You're so cute. I don't know what you want. You probably want some freeze-dried minnow oil spray. Why are you guys all in here right now? I don't get it. They already ate breakfast. I don't know. But you're kind of in the way a little. So I was just going to go to Lowe's and buy this. These are really high quality pine. Normally when I'm building, I use the cheap pine, the knotty pine like this. You can buy this cheap knotty pine. It's rough and unfinished, and then you just sand it down, and I think it looks really beautiful when it's done. You can see I've used it here, I've used it over here, knotty pine. I've used it on this back wall. But, excuse me, putting together these cabinets, I wanted to make sure I had the best quality pine that they sell. So that cheap stuff in the back with all the knots in it tends to be not very straight sometimes. Sometimes it's a little warped. But you can kind of work with that if it's not a really specific application, if you're just making a basic shelf or whatever. But to make these cabinet fronts, I want the best, straightest, nicest pine they had. So I had to upgrade and get this more expensive stuff, and you can kind of tell the difference. Here's a piece right here that I cut out that goes down here. If you look at it, there are no knots. It's nice and crisp and straight. But that's also pine. It's just a higher grade than what I've used in other applications in here. Like this is also actually, this is knotty pine that I made this. The bed frame's made out of knotty pine, which I love. I love all the variations in color and the knots. The same thing with this little toilet. Knotty pine, the cheap stuff. So there's lots of things you can make with the cheap stuff, and they turn out really nice. But making the cabinets, like I said, I like to use this stuff. So when I went to buy the stuff, I wasn't sure exact width I needed in here. So what I did is I went in, this is a 1x2, this is a 1x3, and then these over here are 1x4s. So I just went into Lowe's, I bought one of each. I got a 1x2, a 1x3, and a 1x4. I got the short ones that were like 3 feet long. Then I came out to the van and I started sticking them up on the cabinets to decide what width do I want to go where. So I knew I wanted to put the 1x2s here, kind of on the outside of the cabinet. Like I said, I wanted to have a nice lip on this one, so I wanted the wider boards, the 1x4s. And I was able to put them up here and kind of gauge by looking at it, is that the size I want? And then over here on this one, I wanted to make sure I had the 1x2s on the edge, around the top, on the sides. But then on the face here, it's about 3 inches thick, so I went with the 1x3s. So then I was able to just kind of put the boards up and be like, okay, that fits here, this fits here. And then I took a little notebook and I wrote down how many I need of each and what length. And then also for this cabinet over here, I also, put the boards up here and decided what width board do I need for here, like that. Then I wrote down the numbers, then I went into the store and bought all the wood. All right, that's how I did it. Because I could have just said, well, I'm pretty sure this is 1x2. I'm pretty sure this is 1x3. I'm pretty sure this is 1x4. I'll go ahead and buy the boards. But I thought, well, what if you do that and then they're not quite right? What if they're a little bit too narrow or a little bit too wide? So then, like I said, I just took the boards and set them up here to give myself a better idea. Am I on the right track? Do I have the right width? Then I bought what I needed. All right, so I'm just kind of blathering on at this point. But this is my before. So what I'll do is, I got everything cut out for this face. Excuse me. Everything cut out for this face. Next, I'm going to cut out the face on this. And this, I'm going to take the shelves out and rework it and put new shelves in. I'm going to put a back in it. I'm going to do some extra framing on the back, put a back on this. It's going to be my electrical cabinet. And then I'm going to drill some holes in the backboard for ventilation. There's a lot of ventilation in this cabinet. You can see the way I built it. There's all kinds of gaps all over the place for ventilation, because this is where I'm going to keep all my batteries. See, like this shelf, there's lots of I have made it this way specifically with ventilation, with gaps everywhere, so that my electrical components can breathe. So then the next thing will be to put a back in here, drill some little round holes in it so it can breathe. And there's gaps back in the wall here too that go all the way kind of out towards the side door. So that will be a nice ventilated cabinet for all my electrical components. I believe that's really important to vent any appliances or components you have that are being run by electricity. Will build up a lot of heat, just like this refrigerator. It's also inside a cabinet that's pretty well ventilated, and I'm going to drill holes back there in the Luan to let this breathe even better. And behind this cabinet, behind this wall, is a pocket, an open void in the wall, which will also allow the refrigerator to vent the heat from the compressor. These are things to think about. The first project I ever worked on was a 1976 wilderness camper that I had to rebuild. It had a bunch of water rot. And one of the things I discovered when I was taking things apart to reframe and put things back together, where the refrigerator was located in that camper, I think it was I want to say it was a propane fridge. The whole wall behind the fridge was brown, and you could tell it was like burnt from many years of use where there wasn't proper ventilation. And I mean, I feel like that's a fire hazard. So that's just a little tip I noticed. Thought I'd talk about. These guys are all being so cute right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, that's all I got, guys. This is the before. Once I get everything cut out and get new shelves put in here, this is all going to get cut out, sanded, everything get glued together, and then I'll paint the faces of the cabinets green to match this. All right, that's my video for right now. I'll check back with you guys when I get a little more progress done. Here's one more example of a really beautiful, cheap piece of pine. Knotty wood, which I think you can put in, and it's beautiful. I love it. All right, that's all I got, guys. Talk to you later.